said, we welcome you again to another edition of Voice of Reason. I'm Jake Schwartz, and tonight is a special night here in downtown Philadelphia, the 2016 Julius Erving Celebrity Golf Classic, which will tee off officially tomorrow morning at around 9 a.m. The official red carpet, and we're rolling out the red carpet here on Voice of Reason. Tonight, we've got over at least 100 guests that are expected to come on and talk to us. We've got members of, you guessed it, the Philadelphia 76ers, and that's why we're putting on the hat and we're pulling out the red carpet. Dr. J himself will try to talk to, along with the Henderson family, Gerald Henderson Jr. and Sr. A comedian George Lopez will hopefully talk to as well, along with other Sixer players such as Robert Covington, known as Big Shot Bob. We'll also speak with the likes of Brett Brown and D. Lynham and my buddy and pal and neighbor and the voice of the Sixers, Mark Zumoff. And they'll just be among those who will be on hand as tonight sports entertainment as well as media as well as Hollywood's best will come together as one to celebrate for benefits of the Salvation Army as we get you set to go for a Voice of Reason edition of the 2016 Julius Erving Golf Classic. As we welcome you again back to your Sofitel Hotel. Yes, it is Sixers theme here at the Sofitel in downtown Philadelphia. Dr. J Golf Classic again, where the golf event itself will take place tomorrow morning at the Ace Golf Club in Lafayette Hill, Pennsylvania. Due to regulations, we will not be permitted. So tonight is the night we will get a full-on interview with many of the celebs. And right now behind us, you can actually see many of our celebrities are walking in right now as we speak. Look who I ran into, the voice of Flyers hockey on 1210 WPHT, my good buddy Brian Propp. Brian, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing pretty well. I'm glad to be here.
And for an event like this, the Dr. J Golf Classic, which raises money to the Salvation Army, your thoughts on the type of work that he's done?
Well, he does a great job. The charity really benefits from it.
You've been a man who's been around this hockey world for many years, and I believe you are, if I'm correct, a native of Canada. Is that correct? Is that you're wearing the Canadian sign?
Yeah, I grew up in Canada.
What part did you grow up in?
Saskatchewan, where it's very quiet, cold.
And cold, right?
Yeah, cold.
You know, I've actually known you probably as long as I've known Jim Jackson, your good buddy and partner in crime. Jim has done just as good a job, again, as mentioned, as you have. Talk about what we can expect from the Flyers for the upcoming season. A lot of good things riding high for Coach Hackett.
Well, and I like what Hextall's done. He's put together a good team, and they're going to be exciting. They finished really well. They got into playoffs, and so I'm expecting good things from them.
Tomorrow is the big day, the big golf event. What are we expecting out of your game? Are you as good a golfer as you are an announcer?
Well, I'm pretty good golf. I have about a 7 handicap, but I'm looking forward to the golf.
All right, Brian Propp, as always, we appreciate you being here at Voice of Reason. A pleasure, as always, to see you.
All right, thanks.
My old buddy from the Eagles, Dolphins, and Jets. Yes. Sir Keith Byars. Keith, how are you?
I am doing well. Having a great weekend.
Always good to see you, by the way. How are you enjoying yourself at the Dr. J event?
Oh, having a blast. I'm having a blast. My Ohio State Buckeyes won yesterday. The Eagles won today, and hopefully I'll win the tournament tomorrow. And getting to spend time with the great Dr. J.
Well, look who's actually, if you don't mind me pointing, looks behind a Hall of Famer, the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Can you believe that, though? Well, that is right, and he's done just as good a job as you had. If I want to say, it's an honor and a privilege on my end to talk to a good gentleman like yourself who, let's be honest, growing up as a kid in the suburbs, I always admired what you did. And, Randall Cunningham is actually my all-time favorite quarterback, but I still remember the hit you put on Pepper Johnson, if you don't mind my saying.
Right, I will never forget it. Pepper was my college roommate, still my brother today.
Oh, yeah.
But every time we get together, we had to reminisce about those.
Dr. J, your thoughts on what he's done here with the Salvation Army in this event?
Dr. J is the epitome of class, on and off the court, and, always been an idol of mine to be able to emulate some of the things that he's done. And so it's just a continuation of his great legacy that he has, not just in Philadelphia, but around the world.
Tell everybody what you're doing these days and where you're living.
I'm living in Dayton, Ohio, and playing a lot of golf every chance I get. And I also have a sportswear business called ByyarsSportswear.com.
Okay.
And Ohio State paraphernalia, as well as other colleges, will be coming down the pike as well.
Let's let you get out of here. Keith, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Keith Byars again here on another edition of Voice of Reason. Hopefully we'll talk with the new Hall of Famer, Shaquille O'Neal, right after this. And we're back here again at the Paris Ballroom of the Sofitel Hotel. And look who I ran into, a very large, and he's kind of a big deal. He's the new Hall of Famer and one of my all-time favorite players, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq, how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you, sir?
Congratulations on what has been a great weekend for you. What has it been like, just over the last 48 hours? A Hall of Famer, and now you're here with another brother of yours, the great Julius Erving. What does this mean to you?
I mean, it's a great event. I waited a long time. I put in a lot of hard work. It's something that I aim for to become a Hall of Famer, but a bigger moment was having my idol walk me in. Doesn't get any bigger than that. I used to dream about Dr. J. Dr. J gave a lot of great players their swag. The youngsters of the day, they need to make sure Dr. J's name lives on. One of the greatest players to ever play the game, and for him to walk and be in the Hall of Fame, that's bigger than receiving a ring.
Would you mind if I put this hat on for a quick second? Because this is actually a Sixers hat. And recently, you were enshrined with the great Allen Iverson. You had a great run with him, and Yao Ming as well. Great big man type matchups. What are your thoughts on those two?
Those two are fabulous players, definitely well deserved. You knew when they first stepped on the court that eventually at some point they both were going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. And I think this was the best Hall of Fame class in a while.
I would have loved to have watched it.
Yeah,
I actually had some songs.
Oh, yes. So
I'm an announcer. I got some stuff going on Friday nights. It's football season. Talk about your stint now. You're over at TNT. You also have a family. Your son has been getting a lot of good recognition, so there's a very good chance I'll be seeing him in a lot of these tournaments. I could be taking over for the great late Howard Garfinkel and Tom Konchowski in a few years. Because I know how much respect you have for those two.
Yeah, those guys are great people. Good luck to the 76ers. Ben Simmons from LSU, fabulous player, going to bring a lot of excitement to LSU. And my son is a fabulous little player. I wish him well. I don't like putting pressure on him, so whatever college he decides to go to, and whatever he wants to do with his life, as a father, I have no choice but to stand behind him.
Back here at the Paris Ballroom at the Sofitel Hotel here in Philadelphia, and look who I found, Mr. Sports Center, Jay Harris.
That's me. No,
yes, I like to.
Mr. Sports Center. That's Chris Berman. I'm Junior Sports Center.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, we actually we spoke a few moments ago and introduced myself, and there's one thing we both have in common. We know Susie Kolber, who actually grew up just around the corner.
The
from
best,
where I
the
live.
absolute best.
Yes. But actually, we want to talk about who is the absolute best. And as the host of the title sponsor, that would be Dr. J, your thoughts on coming back to an event like this?
It's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I was just telling someone else when I was younger in the backyard playing basketball, I put the 6 on my back, and I was Julius Erving. My afro wasn't quite as big.
No.
But it was.
Think anybody's afro could be.
But it was still nice and flowing. But to be part of something that benefits the Salvation Army, something that's near and dear to his heart, to get to know him over the years, it's a tremendous experience.
Talk about what this night's going to mean, what this weekend has meant so far. Were you at the actual clinic yesterday?
I missed the clinic.
You missed the clinic.
Yeah.
You'll be at the golf ag tomorrow.
I'll be at the golf.
Unfortunately, media is not allowed to, but that's okay.
Oh, wow, okay.
That's okay, though.
Let me try and pull some strings.
I would, yeah, we'd love that. But you know what, though? At the end of the day, it's always a lot of fun to be around good people like yourself, and you've certainly made a great impact for yourself, and I hope to make one of my own. I mean, I'm 31, and I'm certainly in the prime of my life, so I know that that's probably what a lot of people told you when you were in this position. Am I right?
They did, and they told me to keep pushing and make it happen.
Yeah, that's what the goal is. Tell everybody what's going on with you these days. You're still over at Sports Center. How are you enjoying your stint in Bristol?
I love it. Every weekday morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., Sports Center AM, Monday through Friday. That's where I am.
That's every
tune in.
Yes.
Or I'll find you.
And
I will hurt you if you don't.
Jay Harris, I know you got to lead the master ceremonies. We appreciate you stopping by. Always good to see you as always. Thank you, Jay Harris, again on another edition of Voice of Reason. Hopefully we'll talk to the man himself. Chris Tucker hopefully will join us, and my good buddy Reggie Theus is going to hopefully join us in a few moments. Let's hope we can try to get a quick word with him right after this, again on another edition of the Voice of Reason podcast here at the Paris Ballroom. Look who I just ran into, my old buddy from the AAU days.
Yes, the voice.
The voice of
the one and only.
We said we'd have you on, Reggie Theus. A basketball guru, a basketball icon. It's so good to see you as always, my friend.
Thank you.
How are you feeling these days? I'm always good. And you know what? I just want to say that on behalf of everybody here at Voice of Reason, I want to say that hopefully this show is going to take off because people like you coming on my show have made this a lot better. Plus, you've seen me during the Elevate Hoops sessions. We were there a lot. I spent a lot of time with you and your assistant. And these days, it seems like you're doing a lot. Tell everybody what you're doing these days.
You know, coaching is a 24/7 job. And this time of year we get to do like golf tournaments.
Yes.
So get to spend some time. I'm here. I played golf with Doc today.
Yes. How was that? Because
he got tired of me taking selfies.
I know.
I took so many selfies and sent them home.
He is the biggest golfer I'm sure that you can imagine. And you just posed with the great Chris Tucker. What was that like?
You know what? When you start to deal with Chris Tucker, I mean, come on, man. I'm just hoping that he doesn't do something really funny that I can't follow up.
You've got a lot of stuff going on. Being at Cal State Northridge soon, we're going to be back in the basketball season before you know it. What are we expecting out of Cal State Northridge? What are we expecting out of the great Reggie Theus? Because anybody who's been around this game as much as you have, there's no way you could just keep us with one or two stories.
You know what? I think we have a chance for the first time since I've been there to really be a good basketball team. It's the first time I've had a full team. So, full 13 scholarship guys. I'm looking forward to it. We have a chance to be really good.
Yeah, and tonight marks the actual dinner party of the great Dr. J. What can we say about people like him?
You know what? Doc's the best. I mean, what can you say? I mean, he's the ultimate cool. He's smooth. He's an entrepreneur. He's everything. And he doesn't have to rock the throw anymore.
Well, I'll tell you this. He's probably as good a ball player, I feel like, as I am to announcing, I hope. It's getting there.
I think you just crossed the line.
No, I know.
He's the top of the hill. He's the absolute top of the hill in that one.
Well, Reggie, to all you Cal State Northridge fans, by the way, I asked the huge question. Reggie Theus, as always, we thank you for stopping by. A pleasure, by the way, to see you, as always, the great Reggie Theus here on Voice of Reason. Hopefully in a few moments, we're going to talk with the great Chris Tucker. Back here again at the Paris Ballroom here at Sofitel Hotel, the Dr. J golf event. It's Ride the Red Carpet, Voice of Reason. And look who I found. Chris Tucker.
How you doing?
One of my all-time, I'm going to go on record, one of my all-time favorite actors.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for making people like myself laugh. We go back to the day, I go back to your days of Friday and not Dead Presidents, and there's a lot of great films that you've made, and of course the Rush Hour films. Yes. Talk about what it's like. I heard you talk to a lot of different type of media people. I hear you have a very good relationship with the man of the title sponsor, the great Dr. J. What is it like being a part of this event?
Oh, it's great just to be in the room with him. You know, he's an icon and a legend, but he's just a great guy. It's like a big brother.
Can I wear this hat just to honor him?
Yes.
I have to do that.
It's beautiful.
Should I wear the hat for the doctor?
Yes.
Because he had a great career in the NBA and the ABA.
You're looking like he's coming this way. Oh, nobody.
Good. I'm hoping so. I get but these days it seems like you're staying pretty busy. Tell everybody what you're doing these days.
You know, I'm touring. I've been doing a lot of touring, doing my stand-up comedy. I started out doing stand-up comedy. I'm still doing stand-up. I'll never stop. And I also have a movie coming out, Billy Lynn's halftime show, November 11th, Veterans Day. And, man, I'm playing a lot of golf. I'm a stretch golfer. Did I tell you?
You are a golfer. I never figured you to be the golfer.
I stretch a lot.
When it came to the Rush Hour, because that's where a lot of people, it seems like, and I know that you go back to the 90s movies with the Dead Presidents and the Friday, it's only one simple phrase that we're not going to mention on television if you got knocked out. I know that's probably where you got you made that a catchphrase, in my opinion. What was it like working with guys like Ice Cube and then go fast forwarding to the Jackie Chans? What was it like working with these type of actors?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun, creating stuff with them, man. It was just nice guys. You know, you always have great chemistry with people who's nice and you feel comfortable around. And I felt comfortable around both of those guys, and we had fun.
How in touch are you with Jackie and, with guys like Ice Cube?
We're in good touch, as much as we can, because they're busy, I'm busy. So I had to go all the way to Hong Kong to see Jackie last year, but
is that where he's living these days?
He's all over the world, but he's a great guy.
I watch so many different TV shows, no matter what type of comedy it is, and everybody who says that they sound or look like you, I said, do you think anybody could ever do a good Chris Tucker impersonation? Who does the best one, in my opinion?
You know what? I don't know. It's a lot of good people out there. My voice is easy to pick up.
I try to talk. How's this sound? Does this sound a little bit like you? No, it's bad.
If I was white.
It's bad. No, I could do a lot better. I think
seriously. No, it's great.
Well, Chris Tucker, we thank you for stopping by. Great to have you on here. It's such a pleasure to see you, and thank you so much again for being here. The great Chris Tucker, the legendary Chris Tucker, here on another edition of Voice of Reason. More again to follow right here at the Paris Ballroom in the Sofitel Hotel. It's the great musician Eddie Levert. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Good to have you on here. You know what? We'll talk to Eddie Levert. I'll be honest. I actually had a chance to listen to some of your music in the past, but my dad was certainly a fan of your work. And are you still making music these days?
Still making music.
How many years? How are you?
We're at about 55 years now.
How's that going in this world? Talk about the career you made for yourself.
It's been a long,
Journey.
good journey.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and we're still at it. We're still doing dancing. We're dancing and singing.
Tonight, I hear you will be one of the many people performing.
Do a few.
You will be the
for
only
Doc,
one,
yeah.
by the way. Dr. J, your thoughts on people like him?
I love Dr. J. You know, I've seen him. You know, I think he's the one who started that thing, dunking from the half-court line, carrying the ball all, even for Michael Jordan.
He was a
He was the guy.
athlete.
He was the guy.
definitely
You
the
know
guy.
what I'm saying?
Eddie Levert,
so a lot of people follow in his footsteps.
Eddie Levert, a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for being here on Voice of Reason. Back here at the red carpet party here at the Sofitel Hotel. And look who I ran to, my old buddy from the '85 Bears, the great Richard Dent. How are you?
Doing, babe?
It's so great to see you as well, my friend.
I haven't seen you in a while.
You know what? When was the last time you and I talked?
I don't know. You were much taller.
Oh no, I think you're thinking of the wrong person. I never grew an ounce a day in my life though. I stopped growing probably by the time I was 15. But
Taller and you was bigger.
well, we're not going to talk about that one though. But these days, you and I actually. Well, these days, what are you doing with yourself these days when you're not? Are you still in football? Are you helping out with football, going behind the scenes?
No, I'm not. I'm really in the energy and technology space right now. Right now, I got a app coming out into the market that is going to protect people and secure people. MDMs, and I'm in the utility business. Been in this space for about 18 years now.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
that's gotta be great. Now, how long have you known my boss from Fox, Artie Kepner?
Oh,
I know you've known Artie a long time.
For a
And his
good little
wife
while.
also.
Yes. It's been a long, at least 20 years.
He's a very exciting human being. But the man we're here to celebrate tonight is the great Julius Erving. Your thoughts on people like him?
Well, I told some people that, when you're growing up as a young man or a kid, not even a kid, but a young man, and you do what you do great.
Yeah.
Because it's folks like Doc that you seen do it, and you rooted for him, and now you get a chance to do it, and you get a chance to become his best friend, one of his best friends. You just, at the age of 24, 25, you would have never told me that I was going to get a chance to hang out with Doc, but that's what golf does. Golf gives you the opportunity to meet so many other people that you admire from many years.
That is very true.
And obviously the fundraiser and the good things that the athletes do. Golf kind of surrounds that, and you just get a chance to meet some of your childhood, dream friends, and you don't know what's going to happen, but it just happens.
He's done a lot of good work for the Salvation Army, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
you yourself, I just want to say I've admired your work for many, many years. I've known you for probably about 7-8 years since I got into the business with Fox Sports. I had the privilege of watching you play as a kid. What was that 85 team like? And my condolences to the great Buddy Ryan. What was that like playing for a guy like him and the great Mike Ditka?
Well, Buddy was a guy that basically, if you had a grandfather, you ask him a question, you might not be ready for the answer if you're not ready. But he was a lot of fun, and the players, we competed week in and week out. We had fun, we competed, we was young. You really didn't know what we was doing, but we knew that it was all about winning.
Well, Richard Dent, as always, we appreciate you stopping by. A pleasure, as always, to see you. Richard Dent, the great 85 Bear on Voice of Reason. Oh, man, I thought my night was done. Look who I found, Jerami Grant, the son of the great Horace, or I should say Harvey. It's Harvey. We get that mixed up. We apologize. How are you doing these days? What are you up to?
I'm doing fine. Just came out here to support Dr. J. It's a great event.
I'll hold that thought because I got to put something on right now. It's your hat. Okay. It's your company. I got to show a little bit of respect. These days, you are getting yourself ready to go for the upcoming season. But let's talk about what is tonight. The great Dr. J, and I know you've modeled your craft after a guy like him. What does it mean to come here and support a guy like him?
It means everything. It means everything to be invited to an event like this, and just to be able to be under him and to see everything he's doing off the court nowadays. is amazing for me. He's definitely one of my models and somebody that I look up to.
How long would you say we've known? We've probably known each other since you were in high school, I think, because I had the privilege of watching you at AAU.
Definitely. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Because I was actually, certainly have modeled my work myself after guys like Tom Konchowski and the late Howard Garfinkel. So what does it mean to have those type of guys that instilled like the type of respect for you when they were able to get you into college?
It means everything. It means everything. Just to have people to look out for you and people to just want you to do good in life.
Number 1 pick of the draft, Ben Simmons, this past year. It's been a great summer for Sixers basketball. What can we expect coming up with the season less than a month away?
Expect a lot of excitement. We got a lot of young pieces, and I think we're going to surprise a lot of people this year.
My buddy Jerami Grant, the Sixer, here on Voice of Reason. Back here again at at the red carpet here at the Sofitel Hotel. And look who I found, my old buddy Tim Legler. I should say I have way too much respect for you, more than just respect. Our friendship, our thing goes beyond, certainly is friendship, as if I may say.
And we share mutual friends.
We talk almost every week, every other couple weeks.
During AAU season, right? I see you at every gym in the country.
I just saw your son Ryan when I was down the shore with my family. I couldn't even begin to tell you how much fun I had this past season. We had a great year with Elevate Hoops. Yes. These days, you're doing your thing at ESPN. By the way, again, this is the great Tim Legler, who's over at ESPN here on Voice of Reason. So I apologize if I get a little nervous. I'm actually sweating down my face as we speak. It's actually very hot in this room. But these days, we can find you on ESPN. Where else can people find the great Tim Legler, who had a standout career in the NBA?
Well, right now, if you want to see me, it's my off season. NBA hadn't started yet, but Sirius, Channel 86, Sirius NBA Radio.
Oh, really?
At least 2 days a week. I co-host a show, 3-hour show in the mornings with Joe Myers usually. So that's right now where you can hear my voice. It's starting to get closer to the season. Before you know it, training camp will be here, and I'll be back on the air.
Well, there's a guy right behind you, actually, who's taking a picture with his family, the great Dr. J. What can we talk about with people like him? What has he done as this is the Dr. J golf 3-day weekend? Your thoughts on people like the doctor?
I've known Julius for a very long time. He's one of the most iconic figures that's ever come out of this city. Certainly beloved sports hero, but he's just a tremendous person. And I get an opportunity to come out here for his charity and get an opportunity to spend some time with him. There are very few guys that leave you awestruck in life. Julius Erving is one of those guys.
You know, we've had you on Voice of Reason before. This is actually your second time, so I hope you take a little bit of credit for that. But these days we're probably going to be seeing you soon, at the probably a couple more basketball events, St. Augustine as well as Wildwood Catholic. Absolutely. Your son is going into his junior year. What are we expecting? Senior year. I knew it was junior or senior. I didn't remember off the top of my head. But what are we expecting out of Wildwood Catholic?
Yeah, he's going to be the captain of the team this year, fourth-year point guard for Wildwood Catholic. They're going to have a very strong team. I think he's going to have a great year. He's also playing soccer at Wildwood Catholic, so he hopes to play both sports in college. Yeah, he wants to play both sports in college, and hopefully we're going to spend this fall and winter figuring that out and figuring out where he's going to be.
Let's talk about, again, the NBA. What can we expect? There's a lot of big faces in new places. The Warriors have done it. They've risen to the top, or I should say they've risen to the top. They did not win last year. Cleveland finally, after 52 years, bringing home a title. Who do you like? Whose year is it?
Well, listen, here's the thing. Everybody thinks Cleveland Golden State, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what they think.
Oh, yeah.
But listen to me, voice. I got news for you. Listen to me. Never in the history of the NBA have the same two teams played in the finals 3 years in a row.
And do you expect that?
So what does that tell you?
Oh, yeah.
Something's going to happen to one of those two
absolutely.
teams. It's not as easy as it looks to just put talent on paper. You have to make it work. Everybody in Golden State's going to have to make a major sacrifice on what they're used to. They'll probably figure it out because they have enough talent. So you think they're the favorite, and Cleveland probably the favorite in Eastern Conference, but there's going to be some other teams I think they're going to challenge them for sure.
My buddy Tim Legler, always a pleasure to see you here on Voice of Reason.
You got it, buddy. Good seeing you, man. Yeah, anytime.
Back here again at Sofitel Hotel, the red carpet, the bus, Jerome Bettis. How are you? Great to see you again. We go back to my Fox Sports days.
Yeah, I know. How's everything going?
You look fantastic as always these days. We see you a lot on ESPN now. You had a great, successful football career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Are you still working at ESPN?
Yeah, I'm still working at ESPN and still enjoying some great football. It was a great first day of football today.
Steelers with a nice win, I believe, today.
Well, they play Monday night.
That's right. Oh, yes, they do. What are we looking forward to with your old quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, considering the career that you had? And for me, it's actually an honor to talk to a guy who had as good a career as you did. What can you talk about with what you've done to now?
Well, I mean, I've been very, very blessed to have had an incredible career, to be able to go into the NFL Hall of Fame and to have all the success, and that's been great. But now it's a new era in Pittsburgh, and Ben Roethlisberger is the guy, and I expect this season to be a really good one. So I think the sky is the limit. These guys have a great chance to possibly win a championship, so I'll be watching.
Julius Erving is why we're all here tonight. What can you talk about with guys in a few moments to people like him?
Well, I mean, he's royalty, so it's just it's great to be in his presence, and when he asks you to come and help, you gotta answer the call, and so that's why I'm here.
Philly, how are you, my friend?
I'm good.
It is always good to see you. What are you up to with yourself these days?
Well, I'm known as Gerald Henderson's father now.
That is true, and you are still one of my favorite people. And look at this man right here, Gerald Henderson Jr. Good to see you. How are you feeling these days?
I'm feeling great. How you feeling?
We go back a long way, my friend, and we don't get to see you. We haven't seen you since the Raheem Thompson's event. Down at the Palestra.
Hey, that was a long time ago.
These days they call me the voice. Why I never get a chance to interview you.
Well, you got the voice, so you got it.
You always knew that as well, and you've signed a contract now with the Sixers. Talk about an event like this, the Dr. J event. I know that guys like us, we grew up to people like him.
Absolutely. It's for a great cause. Yes. Also Dr. J has been a family friend of ours for a long time, and he's a great man, and I come here just to support him, and it's just going to be a lot of fun.
I was actually about to try to ask your father a quick question, but he has now walked away. That's okay, though. But will we be seeing you soon at Charles Monroe's Philly, New York All-City Classic? We hope you'll stop by, because I'm announcing that event, though.
You know what? If I can get a time and a date, I'll try to make it.
It is September 23rd and 24th. Ben Franklin and Imhotep combined. And oh, look who's behind. The great Sonny Hill is here as well. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing phenomenal.
What is it like to know a guy like Gerald Henderson? Because I know you've known him a long time.
Junior.
Should we go with Junior or Senior?
No.
Who should we go?
No.
That is a tough. That is a very tough.
Let you give the answer about his dad and him.
Yes, we could. That is true.
Known your dad.
Oh well, you can answer that. I don't know the answer.
You
to that.
wasn't even around.
I know. I might not have been born.
No, you weren't. But no, it's a family affair, and I've had the pleasure of not only touching Dad, but the pleasure of touching Junior as well. And to see him evolve into the person that he is, not as an athlete, but as a person who understands the word that we teach in my league, reach back.
Yes.
Touch others and give them an opportunity.
And you've been a big impact on basketball yourself. That gentleman on the far right, the great Dr. J, I know you've known him as well for a long time. It's for a phenomenal cause. And you've known me since I was about 16 when I went to your camp.
Not only that, but I've taken you on the wing as well.
You have. Yes, you have.
Interacted, but that's what life's all about. Somebody did the same thing for me as I was coming through. So why don't you just pass it back so we can keep it going?
I would like that, yes. Yes, Gerald, you signed a big contract, as we mentioned, with the Sixers just a few months ago. Talk about what you're going to be needing to do coming into the regular season.
I think first and foremost, I'm going to bring my leadership. We have a young team with guys who, haven't played as much. So I'm looking forward to bringing my experience, to be my 8th season and, to help out the best way I can.
And your father, who had a great career as well, who I've known for many years, what was it like growing up under the shadows of the great Gerald Sr.?
It was great. A father is always a great example, but having someone who, is experiencing some of the things that I am now is helpful and very influential for me to get here.
I'm so proud to know your coach, Dan Doherty. I've known Dan a long time. You had a great career there, as well as Duke. You learned from two great teachers. Sonny, would you agree with that? He had the two.
I played basketball against Dan.
Of course you did.
At St. Joe's University. So there's another synergy in terms of how things move around.
Yes, there is. Gerald Henderson Jr., Sonny Hill, a pleasure to see both of you here on another edition of Voice of Reason. Thank you, Sonny. And it is my honor to welcome in the man who certainly needs no introductions. He's a Hall of Famer. He's an All-Star. He's an ABA-er. He's an NBA-er. Julius Winfield Erving. And I have to say this as a great Dr. Dave Zinkoff would say, Julius Erving. It is so good to see you.
I like you, by the way.
Thank you. Well, I wore it especially
look
for
right
you.
There. That's a good look.
It is always such a
appreciate the compliment.
Well, it is always so good to see you. We've known each other for a few seasons. We've talked in the past. tell everybody what this means to you to host a 3-day golf outing like this. You had a clinic yesterday. How was that, by the way?
Yeah, the clinic was good. We did something in the community, so there's a community day.
Yes.
And we did that centered around Salvation Army, Philadelphia University, the girls team and their coach and staff coming out and teaching the kids some of the fundamentals of the game of basketball and doing a little panel discussion with Coach Brett Brown and Jaleel Okafor and my daughter, of all people, who has a foundation.
I just had a nice pleasure. She's actually on the other side of the camera. I had a nice chance to speak with her and your lovely wife, because I actually do a lot of AAU basketball. So I hope to see your oldest son, who I hear is playing basketball in Atlanta, as is your youngest. That's where is that where you're currently living these days?
Yeah, we live in Atlanta.
Yes.
And just back to the event, though, it is 3 days because you got the family day, and then you got the day in which you really need to kind of take care of your sponsors. So the Ace Club was gracious enough to let us do a practice round.
Yes.
And we got that in, and that precedes, our little red carpet and Gala, which is happening right now as we speak, and we're attending it. And then eventually going to play golf tomorrow.
Last question, because I know you got somewhere you got to go. You're on a tight schedule. You had the privilege just 48 hours ago of inducting, well, I should say there are 2 Hall of Famers here tonight. You had one of them, the great Allen Iverson. What does it mean to induct a guy like Allen?
Well, when you're asked to stand there and represent, you don't really get to say anything. It's off the stage where you talk about that player and talk about the contributions that he made to the game and contributions he made to his community, how he's represented his family, and what he stood for, and where his place is in the lineage of great players. So, once you're there, it's not a numbers game anymore. What it is just mystical piece to it that says all the guys can walk and say, I'm a Hall of Famer. And they're going to get mail from people who are soliciting them because they're a Hall of Famer. So we all have that HOF associated, with our MO right now, and that's the specialness of it. You're part of a fraternity. You're part of a club, that people dream about being in.
And so is Ben Simmons. He's the #1 pick this past June in the draft. What are you expecting? Because I know you're still doing a lot of stuff with the Sixers.
I've just seen him play a couple times. And hope to see him play a lot more. But in conversing with Brett Brown yesterday, he really feels the kid is special. He's the real deal. And, I don't want to be one of those to put pressure on him, but I do hope over the course of this year and future seasons to be able to interact with him in a way in which I can assist him with some of the things that, don't relate to skill, the leadership piece, the camaraderie piece, and the sacrifice piece. Those are things that you want to talk to somebody about who's been through it. So I've been through it.
And you have. We'll let you go have fun. Julius Erving, my friend, a pleasure to see you. Right. The great Julius Winfield Erving, Hall of Famer, here at another edition of Voice of Reason. Hello, everybody, for another edition of Voice of Reason. And yes, we're riding the red carpet here in Philadelphia's Sofitel Hotel at the Dr. J Golf Classic. I should say the 3-day Dr. J Golf event. And tonight we're riding the red carpet. We want to thank all of our guests, as mentioned, who have stopped by, from Brian Propp all the way to Gerald Henderson Jr. and Sr., our good buddy Mr. ESPN, Timmy Legler. We also want to thank the Hall of Famer, Shaquille O'Neal. We want to thank many people who were able to stop by again, as mentioned tonight. And we want to thank the doctor himself, the Hall of Famer, who just recently inducted the great Allen Iverson. And we want to thank all of his guests as well for stopping by. Tim Legler was among those. Reggie Theus was among those who stopped by. And a pleasure to see everybody again. So from all of us here at the Sofitel Hotel in downtown Philadelphia, this has been a presentation of Voice of Reason. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Jacob Schwartz 23. I'm Jake Schwartz. We'll see you at the game.